microphone for him, and you have opportunity to ask him more questions. Yes, please join Prof. Yes. Yes. When you present, you join. Present and join. The next presentation will be on a utility for DNS ecosystem in Africa. For me, I'm dying to know what the DNS is. And the next presenter will tell us exactly what it is. Vitus Aborigo, South Africa, here to give us a 10-minute lightning presentation. Give him a round of applause. For all presenters, I'll be sitting there looking straight into your eyes. When I do this, it's 5 minutes left. When I do this, 2 minutes left. When I do this, 1 minute left. When I say, cut. All right. All right.
Hello.
Hi.
Wow, it's normally difficult to talk at this point in time when I'm just back from lunch, but I'll try. And then I just took a clue that you should hold the mic like ice cream, right? Okay, my time is going now. So, okay, so I'm here to talk to you about Standard Africa, which is a utility token for DNS ecosystem in Africa. Okay, so this is a project that has been going on for some time. So basically, I'm here to give you updates on what we've been working on. Okay, so in the process, I'll be updating you on the concepts. Then I will kind of give you an update of 3 activities that took place before AIS 2018. AIS stands for African Internet Summit. Okay, we were there. So I'll then give you exactly what took place during those, during the conference at AIS 2018, as well as an update that we gave in Cotonou in Benin during the African DNS Forum. And then I'll give you the state of development. So Kathy wanted to know what DNS stood for. So DNS stands for Domain Name System. So basically, this environment or ecosystem, there's some kind of business there, and then I'll explain to you. So, who knows who a registrar is? Okay, so a registrar is one who has been accredited by a registry, okay, to sell domains. So, for example, in Ghana, the domains that we are used to is the .gh, which we call the country code domain. So there's supposed to be an entity that sells those domains. But to sell that, you need to register with the registry to do that, to engage in that business. Is that okay? Good. So there are challenges there, and that is what we are trying to solve. One of them is, how do we transfer small amounts in a 3R or 4R business model? Meaning, in this our business world, there are normally 3 actors. Okay? You could have 4. What we call the registry, the registrar, and the registrant. I'll explain, I'll break it down. So the registry is normally, as I said, let's say in the case of .gh, NITA is supposed to be the registry, but being managed by a sponsoring company, which is a private entity. Okay? Then we have the registrar who signs up with the registry to sell the domains. Then the registrant is all of us here who is interested in getting a domain name like facebook.com.gh. Right. Now, to be able to participate in the business, the registrar, for the sake of discussion, let's call the registrar the merchant. Okay? Who wants to do the business will need, the registry requires the registrar to kind of deposit some kind of amount, like an insurance. Before you sell the domain, say put in some amount before you can do the business. Okay? So we are trying to remove the need for African register to have credit before they can do the business. So let me try to paint something. So in Africa, we have 55 registries. So .ng, Uganda is here, they have their own. And if you add .africa, there are 56. So imagine or assume that the registries require that me in Ghana who wants to do business with them will have to pre-deposit 1,000 cedis in each of these registries. Do the math. If it's 1,000, that's like $56,000. That is what you need to put before you even begin your business. And in this our business is volumes. If you don't have the volumes, I mean you are joking. Okay? So if we had that money, I mean I would have engaged in marketing to get the volumes, right? So this is a serious problem that in this, especially in the African region, we are facing. Okay? And we want to be able to use this utility to solve the problem. And when we do that, we're going to engage in what we call a certain incentive process. Okay, you will get some rewards. Good. I like the time. So, in the incentives, we also know that Africa will have challenges. My brother here said he tried to get a call from another network. His phone was on, but says service unavailable, right? Good. So this is a bad service. So we want to use some of these tokens, assuming the operators were part of this game. We would have said, okay, if you keep your network clean, you get some tokens to improve your network. That's kind of an incentive, right? Good. So this is what we are trying to solve. So if I talk about Standard Africa utility token for the African ecosystem, this is what we are trying to solve. Okay, so I have 5 minutes. I'm going to rush. The rest of them will be technical. So, and I know most of us here are, no. Okay, good. So, what is our approach? We want to combine what we call the DNS trust architecture. You don't have to understand that. We all know that if you put your domain name and you're searching for Facebook, at the end of it, you will get something on your page. So, we trust that we will deliver that. Okay, but we also know that in the blockchain world, I don't need a third party to do some work for me. Okay, my sister here has a wallet. I can transfer some tokens and instantly she gets her token without any intermediary. Okay, we believe we can use that to help. All right, now, and also remember that I said one of our goals is what? To try to use a token to do micropayment. So if I want a domain Nigeria.ng, which we call, let's say, 10 Naira. Today it's difficult to buy something 10 Naira from Ghana in Nigeria. We believe using the blockchain you can be able to achieve that, right? Good. So basically that is what we are trying to do. But in also doing, we are also saying that when we try to use this environment to provide solutions, then we'll be kind of encouraging Africans like myself to begin to look for solutions in this sphere. So I'll be encouraged to look for solutions in the blockchain arena to develop, because then we are solving a problem. Okay, so I think I can jump this. I think I'll use this to explain the way we want to solve the problem. So for the, don't worry, this thing is nothing. I'll paint it for you and you understand clearly. You've been doing it every day. So let's assume that we have 2 entities. A merchant, but in my DNS world, I'll set a registrar. You understand what a merchant is? Good. And then we have what we call a consumer. So typically the consumer goes to the merchant's portal, in this case, bweb.africa, to purchase a domain. What happens? Before C can pay B, C would have to read the bank account, in this case, the utility address in the DNS of the domain. Okay, so he reads the address and then tries to pay B. But before C will pay B, an invoice will have been generated from B. And in our case, we'll show you a QR code. And then you use your wallet, C will use his wallet, and then pay C. But what does that mean? It means C, who pays B, will broadcast. We are now in the blockchain world. We'll broadcast the transactions, and then because B has a private key, and he knows that in the blockchain it's been mentioned, okay, C mentioned him, he gets his wallet. And then because B says, okay, I've received my money, he then delivers the goods to C. Is that not simple? Good. All right, so, I mean, basically we are trying to say that we also have what we call our rules, okay? You know our proof of work and proof of stake when we come talk about Ethereum and Bitcoin. But in our case, we are saying that we have what we call proof of presence. You must be present in the DNS ecosystem to be able to participate in this game. Okay, so what did we do? African Internet Forum in Dakar, we interacted with them, took proposals, took TAP and all those things. So basically, these are the things that we've been doing. What is the next step is to form some kind of governance structure which will be lightweight that will advise us on how to go about it. And so this is where I bring my presentation to an end. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vitus. Vitus, one question for Vitus. All right, so.
Vitus.
Yeah, hello.
To me, I sort of confused. I think you bring me back.
I will do that.
Okay, so I'm a domain reseller in West Africa. So I don't know where I fall in this presentation. Companies, startups who want to start selling their own domains in West Africa, they come to me and I provide them a white label account, a sample white label. So I'm just confused where I fall into this presentation.
Thank you. So you are a reseller. So I mentioned of 3R. In fact, there is what we call 4R. Okay, the 4R, the last R stands for the reseller, which is you. So you can actually participate in this game. Okay, so it's not only for the registrar, because registrars have what we call the resellers, and that's you. So you can also participate in this game. When this thing is ready, you only come and create an account, but your identifier will be a reseller, and then you can do all that the others can do. Is that okay?
It's not ready.
We are in the testing phase. We're actually trying to test with, if I'm allowed to mention, Africa. Okay, so that's where we are.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause. Please join them up there. Thank you. Okay, so we're continuing, moving swiftly along with the lightning presentations. The next presentation will be on cryptocurrency exchange. And the presenter is Mr. Bonnie Atichogui, AfriCoinX. Give him a big round of applause. Don't worry, his time hasn't started yet. We want to make sure that his slides are ready before you're ready.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Okay, my name is Bonnie Atichobi, and I'm here to make a presentation of a cryptocurrency exchange in Ghana called AfriCoinX. Okay, so a cryptocurrency exchange basically is just a marketplace where people trade assets, which is crypto to fiat, and it could be crypto to other cryptos. Okay, so AfriCoinX is a cryptocurrency exchange created with the goal of providing a trusted crypto trading environment for people to use. And our goals are to make cryptocurrency trading easier. I know some people have cryptocurrencies and they find it very difficult to exchange it to fiat and then also change it to other cryptos. And also make it secure and safe for people. There are instances where people have they claim they got crypto from certain places and it never comes. There are issues with that also. But then we believe using AfriCoinX, you can do that safely. And also it being reliable and then fair and also ethical. Okay, so who can use African Net? There are for in the crypto space there are a lot of users. Okay, so we can look at one called a trader. Now, a trader is someone who buys cryptocurrency through an exchange, which is also a trading platform. Okay, what they do is they are constantly buying by minute, hour, daily based on the market price. So that's the actual. And there are also merchants that are people or businesses or service providers who are accepting crypto as a mode of payment in their businesses. Okay. And then there is another group that I call prompt crypto exchange. These are individuals who need crypto for to pay for a service or for some just for a quick moment that they need to use it. Okay, and that can be remittance. You can send money across. You need money. You need to push money from here to another place. You can use crypto for that. Recently, I discovered a sports betting website that accepts crypto, um, online payment, and then in-store payments. Now you can walk into shops and then pay with crypto. Okay, and there is one large group which we call crypto holders. This term is a jargon using a crypto word. They are basically people who invest and then they also speculators. They believe if a coin will rise to a certain amount over a period of time. Okay, so they buy hold for a long time. So how does AfricoinNet come in here? Okay, so what AfricoinNet is doing is you have the crypto traders, you have the holders, and then you have the merchants, and then the prompt crypto, who are the crypto individuals using. Now they all can come together on this marketplace and then exchange their assets. Okay, so these are some of the reasons why you need to use AfricoinNet, which is liquidity. Now you have crypto, you want to exchange for cash, you can use AfricoinX. We provide reliable support. We are always there for you. There are no hidden fees. There's all charges are based on the transaction. There are no hidden fees. Where some people say you need to pay this amount before you sign up, before you do business, and also we believe you can trust us for us to deliver. Okay, so this is how to participate. Okay, so first you sign up. It's just a four process. So you sign up, you verify your identity, you find a way to deposit your funds, and then you can trade. Now, for the sign up, the requirements are simple. You just need an email address and then your password to your account. And then for the identity verification, we need your full name, an address, your phone number, and then we also take a valid ID card with a copy of it and then proof of residence. And this is for just like what the banks do for KYC and anti-money laundering reasons. That's why we do that. So we take keen interest in this area. Without this, you cannot partake in this. And then you can also deposit your funds in there. Once your funds is approved, reflect in your account, and then you can move to the trade platform to buy your or to exchange your assets. Okay, so these are screenshots of how the application is. Okay, so okay, so like I said before, we really need your email and then password. After which, these are the three things you need. You need to verify your email address. We have to make sure you're not a bot or just a random person trying to just run through the system. So once you sign up, you need to verify your email address. We do this part is where we do the KYC or the money laundering part, and then we need your phone number for two-factor authentication purposes. So that you don't have someone else trying to take out your funds and all that. You can also use Google Authenticator, which was another option for the phone number. The slide is right, but this basically is a trading platform. The market is easy. So when you get here, you can exchange your crypto asset for fiat, and you can also change your fiat to cryptocurrency. temperature, you can take it out and then it's yours. Yeah. Okay, so thank you. This is a URL to the exchange, which is African X. You can send an email to support@ghana.com for all your inquiries. And I think I can take your questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tijobi. I want somebody who hasn't asked a question yet. Let's come here.
This one should be more than one.
Yes. There's a special case. Special case. Forum, don't worry.
Thank you so
I want to
much.
get the presentations out of the way.
Special
case. No special case. I'm like the special prosecutor.
Thank you so much. I think that was exactly what I wanted to say, that we should allow more than one question, because it's such an important area.
Is that your question?
No, man.
But then your question is done. Please use the platform well.
Thank you so much. Bonnie, I like your courage and I like what you have presented. I mean, thank you so much. The main challenge we have right now is changing what you have in your blockchain into fiat. As a matter of fact, I have to struggle my way, move money all the way outside. I mean, whether to Western Union, wherever through the bank, it's a headache. And when you go through the bank, a lot of questions. Where is from this and you are that, you have to go here, get here, and at times I just can't contain it. Right now, by the grace of God, we are developing our own platform. That's why I'm here. I'm looking for something that works with speed, something that can pay people instantly. So I'm really happy to see you, with what you just presented. But I can tell you, yes, I've asked it in terms of speed, in terms of your service delivery. How reliable is it? Can we trust it?
Thank you.
Understand?
That's the question. It's a speed question. How fast are you guys?
For Africanness, we've been around. If you know, last year we were using ATMs for exchanges. So this is an addition to part of the service we are providing. And we have more than 500 users carrying for just this now. We have the ATM users. So can I assure you we are reliable, and then when you want to exchange, you can do that.
Thank you very much. You have more opportunity to ask him more questions later on. But that's Mr. Chichobe, Bonnie. Please join them. I really like this lightning presentation concept. My next conference, I'll use it, and I'll say why I got it from Prof. Quayle. Next presenter in this session is going to be talking on academic certificates on blockchain. Put your hands together for Mr. Isaac Latte from GDC.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm presenting on academic statistics on the blockchain. So quickly, I believe today we've had enough definitions for blockchain. So I wouldn't mention that at all. The application I'm presenting on, the name of the application is Odset. Basically, Odset is an application that helps institutions. I remember Vanderpoy mentioned something on how we can verify student transcripts. So it's basically an application for creating and verifying educational certificates. Now let's look at some of the challenges that prompted us to developing an application like this. We've had several instances where we've heard of counterfeits and manipulations in certificates like the birth sets, land registration, student transcripts or certificates, and then driving licenses. These are some of the challenges that prompted us to build an application like this on the blockchain to help us to remedy some of these challenges. The concept. Offset concept is to keep permanent, unchangeable student data, mainly student certificates or transcripts on the blockchain. On the blockchain, what happens is that, okay, let me go to the next one. I believe I can explain more from there. Okay, so let's look at the main actors on this application. We have the registrar, we have the students, we have the public, and then the HR. The registrar is the core of the application because we believe that the student registrar of the university or institution is the person who issues out or gives out the certificates to the students. Okay. And the application is not limited to only universities. Private entities that organize trainings can also use it, but in this case, the application will still refer to them as registrars. Okay. Then the students in this case are people who have applied to attend a program, like what we had last 2 days, Blockchain Academy, or in the case of universities or colleges, we have students who are reading courses like, let's say, computer science, agriculture, and the likes. We also have the public actors. These are people who access the application just to do verification of certificates or transcripts that are issued to them. Then also the HR. The HR services like human resources. If you submit your certificates for application for jobs, okay, they can use the software that we've designed to be able to verify your certificates. I remember someone mentioned in the earlier discussion that there are cases with UCC that you have to go back and forth to be able to check the credibility of a certificate that is given out. Let's look at the use case models, the main models in the application. We have the registrar model, we have the student model, and then the verifier model. Basically, the registrar adds student information, uploads the student certificate, and then it creates a hash of the student certificate. That is what we upload onto the blockchain. So anytime somebody has a copy of that certificate, the person can be able to generate another hash and then compare with what is on the blockchain. Then the student model. The student model is designed for the student to be able to request for certificates or transcripts. So you have a UI, a user interface that you can log in to be able to request for your certificate from anywhere you are. You don't have to go to the school, anywhere you are. We also have payment model, but currently our payment model only supports MTN mobile money. We will add more. We are still at the let me say early stages of using the application. Then the verifier model is the model that allows you to check. It does the rehashing for you. So what you can do is that if you have the certificate, you can still use this application to upload the certificate, and it does the rehash and then checks for you on the blockchain. So when it does the hash, it checks again on the blockchain to see if the two hashes meet. Remember that if you change or alterate anything on the certificate or in the student data, the hash will be different. Even a full stop, a comma, or anything, the hash will be different, which makes it invalid. I think I've spoken about all these things already, so let me just. I've spoken about all this already. So the first academic certificates that were issued out was yesterday. We had participants from Blockchain Academy who participated in 2 days program, training program on blockchain technology. As part of their training, after their program, they were issued digital certificates. So those who came for the academy, I'm sure in your emails you have received some emails with your hashes and then a link to the main website to be able to go and verify your certificates. So these are the links. The link to the application is sportset.com. You can log in and check what is going on there. And then that of the academy is blockchainacademy.fortisets.com. All the students' data that we collected and uploaded are still there. You can easily verify from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic. One question. Somebody who hasn't asked. I want somebody who hasn't asked a question. One question. What's the question? Have you asked already? Question back. Is it on the blockchain?
All right, thank you for the opportunity. One thing I want to ask is that I think this innovation is good. I want to find out, getting public certificate. I say public certificate. Example like passport, birth cert. It's very hard in this country. We need to struggle even to go for a copy. I want to find out, have you put that in mind that you will be able to make it very easy that if you want to get a certificate, you will get it as early as possible. And finally, why is it that your training is expensive?
One. Answer only the first question. You can answer the other one later on. Don't bend the rules. So speed of getting the documents, public documents.
I think the focus of this application was directed to checking the, let me say, validity or the validity of certificates that is issued by an authority. The focus wasn't on speeding up the process. Maybe it's an input that I'll note down and then see how we can design an application to be able to remedy your case. But this is just for checking the validity of the certificate that is issued.
Thank you very much, Isaac. Give him a big of a hand. And Mr. Isaac Lassie from GDC, talking about academic certificates on blockchain. Please join the panel. And I'll hand over to the moderator who will make things flow.
Okay. You can keep down. Yes. So now the person check.
Okay.
All right.
right.
I'm just going to try and have a conversation with them, perhaps in the hope of helping them clarify some of the questions that were raised. So I'll start with the first one. This is the one on the cryptocurrencies, blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Now, I think one of the things that I felt I heard was the investment program. And investment is one of the areas that regulators are usually most keen to look at. So it may be useful if you can share with us further your thoughts on that. I don't want to fix you on anything, but just further on that so that we can all feel comfortable as to that. The second one is, as you discussed, it became evident that it's not so easy to reverse things. As if I send money to the wrong place, I'm dead. Yeah, I got that feeling. So to try and tease out, I thought I'll let you have a take.
Okay, so on the investment side, what we basically do is that we know cryptocurrency, bitcoins, and other such currencies. A lot of businesses have come up that you can actually invest them in. And once upon a time, I chanced on an interview that the governor of the central bank had given to Joy FM. And he was saying in that interview that they are not banning cryptocurrency, but then they have not also adopted it yet. And so they are not saying don't, but when you do, it's at your own risk. What we started, we didn't just, now maybe a bit of background as to how we came about this. When we started doing our exchange, business, something similar to what Africoiners is doing. That is how we started, and then we grew from trading the currencies into now investing our currencies in some of these programs ourselves. And then we thought that, okay, let's do something like this. So we started doing this offline. Friends would give us money, we would trade, and we share with them. But then early this year, we thought actually we've done this for a while, so we can bring it online and then expand the market. So we brought it online this year, and it's been great. It's actually based on trust. So people trust us to work, to trade their funds and pay them. Of course, it's in cryptocurrency. So the advent of our own currency even makes it easy, because now we have our currency, we have our investment program that you can invest our currency in if you don't just want to hold it, because it's a true cryptocurrency. So even by holding it, the market activity can let it appreciate. So if you don't just want to hold it and wait for the market to appreciate it for you, if you invest it into ecryptopay.com, you know that you are going to earn on it as we trade it, because it's listed. And so it is on trust. As you trust us to give you the returns that we have promised you, we are also diligent enough to work with the coins that you have invested with us, so that we are able to give you the returns. So basically, this is how we are working. And then when it comes to the second bit, where as if when you transact and you have lost, there is a mistake somewhere, you've lost your money. No, there are several occasions that investors, let me call them so, but sometimes we call them trade inputters, because what we do is trading. So when you make an investment, what you will call investment, we actually call it trade input. So when you have made a mistake genuinely and you contact us, we are able to identify what the challenge is and help you rectify. So at the end of the day, you haven't lost your money. Our investors don't lose their money on our platform unless genuinely you try to defraud the system. That also will pick it up, and then if need be, we can take you out of our system. So basically, this is what it is.
Well, thanks for the response. Just an advice: be careful in investments like you do, that the returns that you are offering are ones that you can deliver. Because that's just what central banks and exchange commissions like to regulate. And if you are doing the ICO, also follow the rule and you'll be fine. So I think that's okay. Let me try a different angle. There was a question raised to the next presenter, which was utility token for the domain name system. I think it wasn't quite clear who are the beneficiaries. You mentioned register, but you need to paint it some more. So I'm giving you another opportunity for you to say how the ordinary person may flow through your process that you described. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so remember that the actors in our model are indicated with the 4 R's. Okay, that's the registry. Okay, it's a benefactor. He benefits from the system. The registrar. Okay, in other words, the merchant also benefits from it. The registrant, okay, also benefits from it. The reseller also benefits from it. And then I think the community itself also benefits from it, and I'll explain. So I'll start from the registrant. Okay. As I indicated, if I'm in Ghana and I want, let's say I have a company and I want to be global. Sometimes to be global means you want to have some identities in other jurisdictions aside your country, right? So if I want to get a domain
in Nigeria and I'm in Ghana. I mean, if I'm in the fiat world, to use 10 cities to get a naira is kind of very difficult, if not impossible, isn't it? So, with our utility, we should be able to do this because it allows, it's micro payment, right? So this is seamless because the utilities by itself is global. So you're able to achieve this. So the business owner saves himself the headache of high charges when it comes to micro payments. So that's one. Now, for the registrar, as I indicated, the registrar needs capital to work. And if a registry requires a registrar to look for large sums of money to deposit before he starts business, that's an issue, if you ask me. Okay, so in our process, you do not need to pre-deposit funds in the registrar's account. For him, that is an insurance way of ensuring that he gets money. But with the concept of our project, that is no more necessary. So clearly, it benefits the registrar or the merchant. Is that okay? For the registry, because it's token, or you can say cryptocurrency, you can be assured that once there's an initiation of a transaction, he will definitely get his funds because it's crypto now. All we need is his public key address. We pay and then it goes in seamlessly. And then I also talked about what we call the game, the incentives. So in Africa, as I indicated, our networks are normally challenged. Okay? And we are saying that if during this, the operator will definitely, it's business, so we expect that the token, after some time, will gain some value and then there will be some profits. I don't know whether to use the word profits. But we're saying that we'll channel this and to encourage people to make sure that they are doing the right things. Okay, so for example, one of which we haven't concluded, one of the passes you may get is that if, let's say, you implement IPv6 in your network, okay, then you are deemed to get a reward. Okay, so just by participating in this project, okay, you stand a chance of getting rewards to better the network. And if you improve your networks at the end, I think Africa benefits. I don't know if I need to throw more light.
Well, that's what we decide. Okay, I think let's put it in layman's terms. Is solving a very specific narrow problem which affects the domain name community. And the community has people who want names, it has people who provide names, okay, and it has people who actually create the names. I've just said the same thing. He said registrants, registrars, registries, but we didn't use that. Then he's also saying that there is a certain problem of moving small amounts of money along the whole continent. Okay? So instead, he's going to give you cheat. Do you understand? Because it's token. Some people call it cryptocurrency. He's saying, no, I'll give you cheat. So as long as you are moving that money within that community, no fees. Are you seeing anything? Then he's also saying that there was a particular problem which was for you to be able to go and sell a name, you must have put money somewhere. Okay? So if you are the registrar, the one who sells, you should have put money in where they are created. And he's saying that's not necessary because the money can come with the transaction. Okay? So this is solving a very specific problem in a particular industry, which is where you folks are working, domain name industry. Now, that's why he calls it a utility token. He's not trying to create a general coin for general things. He's trying to solve very narrow problem, and this is the way he's going about it. I hope I've supported very well. Let me try the next one. I think we have some more time, right? Yes, we do. Very good. So we'll build on it. We'll build on it. The next one that we had was a specific, a clear example of a cryptocurrency exchange, which is functional. And there, what I noticed was that there was concern about moving money in and moving money out. I mean, that's one of the things that built up in the questions. And so it may be useful if you describe your process. Think of me, layman, I've come to subscribe. What do I do next? What happens next? What happens next? Including when I want to get out.
So on AppNext, when you log onto the website, all what you need to do is you be signing up just like signing up to any social media network. You provide your email address and a password. And after that, what you do is you have to verify your account. So the system sends you an email which you need to verify. After that, you set a phone number for two-factor authentication purposes. Then the last step you need to fulfill is the KYC, just like the bank does. After these have been done, there is a funds page where you can, without fulfilling these three things, you cannot add funds to your account. So once you are verified, then you can go to the funds and then load the amount you want to trade with or you want to exchange with. So if it's a series that you want to deposit, we accept it through mobile money. Now, we're working on.
Even if I count my cash, you take my cash.
Yeah, we also do that. When you walk into the office with cash, we can also do that for you. Okay, if you are coming with Bitcoin, the exchanges should have an inbuilt wallet already, which we have implemented in this. So each user has their own address that they use. So you deposit your coins to that address, reflects in your account, and then you can exchange the cryptocurrency for the CDs. Okay, so after you have the funds in there, then you can move to the trade section. After you've done your trade or your exchange, then you can also move your funds out. For the crypto, we advise that you do not keep your coins on the exchange. That is the best practice that we tell our clients. Because you are doing an exchange, once that's done, you move your coins to your wallet, which has your key, and you are protecting it. It's not a good thing to trust an exchange to provide you that much of security.
Okay, so if I get it correctly, the way I bring money in is I come to you, and then you receive the money, you credit it to my exchange account, and then thereafter I can do my buying because I brought money in my buying. And then I say after I bought my coin, it goes into my wallet at the exchange, and then I'm free to take the coin away. What about the reverse?
Okay, so when you have, I think I described the coin the other way around also. What you do is the system gives you account and address. You pay your Bitcoin to that address. After the first confirmation, it will reflect in your account. The same way you go to the marketplace, you exchange it for. We use Ghana cedis, so you exchange it for Ghana cedis. Once you get your Ghana, once it's done, it reflects in your account in the Ghana cedi section. And then you can also initiate a withdrawal from there, which will be sent to your mobile numbers.
Okay. Well, I want to now address the last one now, kind of leaving for people to debate today. Isaac, in your opinion, the problem statement that you use seem to have created challenges for you. Your problem statement said that we tend not to have authentic copies of passports, birth certificates, etc., including educational certificates. And so you notice the very first question you got was things like birth certificates are so difficult to get, but that's not what you were trying to address. So I want to give you a chance to explain narrowly what your system is solving. Does it do anything for passport?
The system that we built basically is to be to be able to is we built the system to be able to verify certificates. But the focus was on student certificates or transcripts. Okay, so because they are all in the certificate category or the certificate space, the system is open for birth cert, driver's license, and other certificate issuing bodies. That is to say that the system is not limited to just academic institutions. Thank you.
But so in the case of birth certificate, you want the registrar general to issue it. I want to know it now. In the case of passport, you want the passport office to issue it. Because if I myself I bring something, maybe it's my brother's certificate. So
I explained the model and then how the system works. The system starts with a registrar, and then I also explained that the registrar is not limited to just the academic or the university registrars, because I said that even people who run their own training, like a blockchain academy, there is somebody who started it. He is the authority. The system runs in such a way that it requires an authority who issues certificates. Okay, so if it's the birth set, there is an authority, that is the birth set, that issues. So what we are trying to do is that we want to help to prevent fakes or manipulations of, let me say, figures in the case of transcripts, or even in the dates of expiration of maybe passports or things like that. Yes, thank you.
okay, so I want to try something else. Do you have any question you would like to ask any of these guys? Please, I'm being the panelists. I mean, based on what you've heard, I want you to be talking to each other. Okay? I don't want this silo business. There must be some things you want to say to each other or ask each other. Sure. You don't have a mic? He wants my mic too.
I actually asked him this question, but for the sake of audience. So I was asking whether they have a fiscal presence in Ghana, so that when we are doing investment, fiscal presence is very important. So I wanted him to answer it.
Okay.
Not to worry, not to worry. This is very friendly.
All right. Well, crypto investment is not the same as gold investment. All right. So yes, we have presence. We have presence. Our office is at Lungwa, off the beach tribe, on behind the cold store. I think it's just about 200 meters from behind the cold store. But the business really is online based. All right. So because we don't take cash and those things at the office, you can just sit in the comfort of your home and do whatever you want to do. When you sign up on our website, you have your own portal where you manage your investments, your withdrawals, and all of that. So really, you don't need to. And when you make a withdrawal, we pay to your on our MTN mobile money account, or for withdrawals above certain amounts, I think 10,000 upwards, you can request for a bank deposit, and we do that for you. So you don't need to really come to, when you come to the office, there isn't much going on. It's just that, like he asked, people like to ask, where is your office? And that kind of thing. And then we are also present in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we are in 2 states, Lagos and Ilorin. And then, as I speak, there is a part of the team that is, they just arrived in Freetown. We are opening an office there as well. And so we are expanding. And though we are online, everything is remote. At least there is some place that you can go to as well, if there is any.
Thank you. I mean, but I want you to understand the concern, because it was raised.
Oh yes,
it was raised to me. No, let me give you more data. It was recently raised to me by, I won't mention, but they know themselves, he said, even when you give your money to a physical person that you are seeing, your money disappears. Why don't you go and give it to a website? So, so there are some natural concerns.
In fact, we are very much concerned about such, and so we took it upon ourselves to train. So the education side is equally important to us. We spend time to train people. Sometimes we are in the same venue. Sometimes we are in Airport View. When we go to Kumasi, Golden Tulip Kumasi is where we know. And we are training people to understand blockchain, cryptocurrency, and how they can invest with us and all the ins and outs of dealing with us. So we are really educating the public, and maybe I think we have a final training session like this before end of the year. We are yet to conclude whether it will be in this place or in at the Airport View. So when you hear or when you read about some of our seminars, kindly make some time to join us and let us further expatiate on some of these things. All right.
So, any final comments from the rest of you? Brief. Like 2 minutes, quick.
But what I can add is, for Africanness, we've had people call in or sign up, and then they think it's an investment. No, it's not. It's just an exchange platform, a marketplace for you to liquidate your assets or exchange it to a different form. There's no way an investment platform taking that you load up your funds in there, and then the next week it doubles or it triples. It doesn't work that way.
Let's go there.
Okay. Really nothing to add, but just to kind of some level of confidence. I'm just asking that from what I have presented, this shows that in Africa, in Ghana in particular, we have developers that are kind of able to do some of this blockchain programming stuff. So sometimes when you're talking about these things, you should try to look internal because your own people are trying to do some of these things. And I think we are in the same level with the others. So most times what I see is that you try to look outside rather than inside. And just to assure you that, you have good developers in Ghana and Africa.
Let me just quickly add that our ECP coin was developed by Ghanaians. Our investment program also developed by Ghanaians, and our exchange platform, which is dollarbaseexchange.com, were all developed by Ghanaians. And so all these things we are doing, we are trying to correct some of the bad experiences we had when we started in this field, with dealing with foreign companies and all of that. And so we have taken time to invest in ourselves so that in-house we build these things for our own people. And so if you go to ECP tokens, eCryptoTokens.com right now, the ICO website, all that you see there was made by a Ghanaian. And we are all very young Ghanaians, very enthusiastic about what we do, blockchain and cryptocurrency. And we are even trying to build ECP blockchain so that we migrate our coin from the Ethereum onto our own blockchain. And we are hoping to achieve that. And it will be done by Ghanaians. And so we want you to believe in us and participate in what it is that we are doing so that we can grow. And when we are grown, it is in the interest of all of us, so we can take hold of our economy.
Yeah, I think we'll wind up, but be careful with ICOs. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all for giving us a good presentation.